You're in a Star Wars movie.
I am, and you're from Houston.
No way.
Hey.
Hey, so have you been to Texas, Houston?
No. I just seem to just hear so much about it. Sounds great. I don't know if what I hear and what it is are the same thing.
It is fantastic. You should come down.
I will.
And you should come down right now before like the heat. Like right now, winter is...
Is it just so intensely hot?
Well, I tell everybody, usually what I tell people is like, for 4 hours the weather's great in Texas, 4 hours out of the year. But no, I'm kidding.
Then again, we filmed in 131 degrees, so I think I win.
Where did you film?
In Abu Dhabi. Running through the desert with real explosions and a real fire in 131 degrees.
Oh my.
Yeah.
What was your reaction like when you realized you were going to be in this film?
I guess you would imagine that it would be jumping up and down and all that kind of stuff. It was very... It's funny because JJ said something about it being kind of, not muted, but like chill. Because I was like, huh. I kind of felt like it was going to happen. So when it happened, I think I didn't actually process it, that it happened till months later. And I was with someone that I couldn't tell and stuff like that. So it was very odd. It was very odd.
That's
I was
actually
still like, huh, I got that film, yeah.
That's actually my next question for you. How did you keep secrets? Because I mean, everybody wants to know what's going on. I mean, did you go into a witness protection program?
The funny thing is, I'm really bad at keeping my own secrets, but I'm so good at keeping other people's. And because this isn't my secret, this is a crew of thousands and people who've been working on this for years, and it's a wonderful thing. And the reason people are keeping it quiet is so that when you see it in the cinema, it's this incredible thing that you don't really know what's going to happen next. It was very easy. And watching the film, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that happened. And so if that's evoked in people, I think we've all done the job well.
I want to ask about your character and the inspiration for young girls.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you talk about how that's what you want, you know, young females to take away from watching you. Tell me a little bit about that.
I think it's funny because I guess young girls aren't really aware of what it is that they need to see and what it is that they need to have an example of, and you don't really think about it until you hear the conversations about the other side, about what it is we're not seeing. So to be part of a film where everything you're seeing is the right thing, and to have a girl who is not overly sexualized and doesn't come from kind of like a privilege like Leia did. Not that Leia wasn't an example, but I think Rey is so relatable. She's just take away the space and the adventure. She's just a young girl trying to find her way. And for girls to see that reflected in cinema, like I'm not breaking any ground, me personally, but to be part of something that is in the cinema and to see that society is reflecting that more and more is incredible.
What was it like to work on the set? You see Harrison Ford the first day. Tell me about that.
Well, when I met Harrison, JJ introduced him as Mr. Ford or something. He was like, no, I'm Harrison. And then we had a very nice conversation. And I was like, oh my God, my mum loves you. He was like, great. It's like, I love you too. He's very giving and generous, and to watch him work is incredible. Like, it's like a masterclass. All the while being incredibly funny and dry and kind of, lovely. So it was all good.
How are you doing, Daisy?
I'm okay. A little bit poorly, but I'm okay.
Well, I hope you get better real
Thank
quick.
you.
This has to be an amazing experience. I mean, to the story itself, blending the stories of the originals with now and Harrison with now, and you being such a young actress on the rise, it must be daunting to be right here at the precipice of the movie release.
It's only daunting in that I want people to like enjoy my performance. I don't really think about all the other stuff because I have many other people thinking about that stuff. It's been really wonderful because whatever kind of challenges there have been, to experience it with other people, I've never felt alone once, and me and John in particular get on so well. That it's been wonderful to have someone with me the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's all like a positive thing. It's just been steeped in positivity and hope and excitement. So to be part of that is thrilling.
Yeah. How about the other part of it? I mean, when Return of the Jedi came out, there wasn't any PlayStations, there wasn't social media.
Yeah.
But now there will be video games and everything with your likeness. Do you think about that at all? That your image is now, your character will live on in so many facets?
Well, it's weird. I just got given a lollipop with Ray's face on it, and that's odd. But Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, it's weird. But, yeah, I mean, that's the answer. It's weird.
Is there a Yoda or a Obi Kenobi for your life in real life? Somebody that's guiding you along, that's been like there to kind of help you through your career?
Probably my parents, because I guess they're not like a master like Yoda and Obi-Wan are, but they want the right thing for me and they want me to be happy, and that's kind of all I need from the people around me and the people that have raised me and supported me. So yeah, probably them.
You're a beast on social media. I mean, people like will follow you on Instagram and everything else. How do you filter out from the real fans, from the twits that just want to be negative or do, like, how do you filter that out as a...
Well, the thing that's good is I have like quite a few followers now, but it's still small enough so that I can read all the comments. So the people that are being rude, I just block, and then I don't have to read them anymore anyway. It is weird because it's difficult with dealers and stuff. Like, I never really knew it was a thing, but obviously you want to sign for the people that really, really care, and you want to take pictures with the people that care, and then you realise that people are putting it on eBay, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm like not a cynical person, so I just have to hope that everyone I'm interacting with is doing all of this for the right reasons and is excited for the right reasons, and everyone else, whatever.
I know Star Wars is a worldwide phenomenon. I guess it's intergalactic, actually. But what's the excitement across the pond with you and John, you know, being so featured in this? Like, how
I think it's nice. Like, every country loves to claim their thing. And I think it's cool for England because we filmed there, so they already have kind of a piece of that. But it's definitely, like, it's lovely being away, but definitely getting back to London's like, oh, this is great. And, like, when we go to London for the premiere and everything, I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting, and to be there with my family and my friends. It definitely is that extra thing of... And also, me and John both represent two very different, like, parts of London. So we're repping a wide range.
Yeah. Well, I hope I get to watch you on screen for years to come.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
I've first-handedly seen little girls lose their minds finding out that the new hero is a female.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel as an actress, and also about the times that we're living in?
It makes me feel really nice. Like, there was a little girl where I was last night, and I asked her if she was interested in seeing the film. She was like, yeah. And obviously she doesn't... girls of that age, the girls that kind of need role models like Ray, I guess, aren't so aware of what it is they need and what it is they're lacking perhaps in films they watch. So to kind of be on the outside looking in and imagining what she might feel when she comes out the cinema is an incredible thing.
What is the question that is most asked of you that you cannot answer yet?
Who are my parents? My mum's like, I'm your mum.
Is it a mind trip walking into almost every store around the world and seeing yourself?
But it's weird because I seem to have missed everything. Like,
Really?
people keep messaging me stuff and I'm like, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, sure. But I've kind of missed it. But coming to LA is like
Different time?
crazy because there's billboards and
Yeah.
things like that I haven't really seen.
I've walked into like a Bed Bath & Beyond and like there's
Really?
there you are, and I'm like,
Nice.
everywhere, absolutely
Nice.
everywhere. Do you have a favorite scene from any of the previous Star Wars films?
Luke saying goodbye to his father,
Oh, it's cool.
coupled with the Ewok party. I just find that kind of contrast weirdly touching.
The first film I ever saw in a movie theater when I was a kid was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And so this franchise is near and dear to my heart. Do you remember what film was the first film you ever saw in a theater?
Oh. Well, I can't remember in living memory, but I do know that I went to see Lion King when I was little, and apparently I turned to everyone I was with halfway through and went, I've got tights on. They were like, brilliant. So I was like 2 or 3.
Awesome. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We filmed the film in England, so the British film industry is an incredible thing, and it's wonderful that big films come and film in England to support the smaller films.
Yeah, it's wonderful that in a way the industry is a universal thing. It's not a
Exactly.
Hollywood. And
Yeah. And I think Star Wars resonates in the UK and in the US, so it's wonderful to get 2 big parts of those countries to represent.
I think that sorry, you have a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, the franchise has changed a lot, and females are represented like real women. They can be villains, they can be strong, they can be bitchy. How happy are you about that? being?
I don't think women have to fall into any of those categories, but it's wonderful that women are represented as much as males are. I definitely don't think it happens enough yet, but it's wonderful to be part of a film where that is happening.
I understand that the audition process was very secretive because they didn't want,
Yeah.
you know. So how did you deal with keeping the secret and the excitement? I mean, is it?
Well, I don't like to jinx things anyway, so I don't really talk about stuff when I'm auditioning for it. And then since I got the role, it's just been exciting the whole way through. It's such an exciting thing to be part of. It's not very difficult to maintain that. And I think people are going to appreciate us keeping it as quiet as we have because nobody knows what to expect.
And but I think it's good to keep the excitement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
And what do you think of the whole J.J. Abrams? He's a great director. He's done TV. How did you work with him?
He's incredibly kind. Like, obviously, I was incredibly nervous, and he is very loving and giving and supportive. And he brought out a performance in me I didn't know I could give. So I think he's wonderful.
Is Rey more of a Han, a Luke, or a Leia?
I'd say she's kind of a combination. She's a Han because she's a pilot. She's a Leia because she's kind of kick-ass. And she's a Luke because she goes on an incredible adventure she never could have imagined.
That's a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Three. What are we going to see in Rey that we've never seen a female hero in Star Wars before?
I think we're going to see things in Rey that we've not seen in women a lot in film. She's nuanced and her journey is definitely her own, and obviously it's influenced by other people because she's building relationships as she goes along. But it's something within herself that's driving her on, and her story. With Star Wars, it's incredible because everything combines to make a story, but her story is her own. It's not been told before, and she's not been kind of played before. It's incredibly exciting to see something like that, and it's so funny, people always talk about her as strong, and I don't really see that as the thing that, when I left watching the film, that's not the thing I kept with me.
What did you keep with you?
Like emotional. For her, this is a crazy journey she could not have imagined before she begins on it. And she's so hopeful the whole way through. Like her parents left her at 5 and she's like late teens, early 20s. For someone to maintain that positivity and that vibrancy of like life and of hope is incredible. So hopefully people are uplifted by that.
How does it affect her as a character that she's asking who is Luke Skywalker and she doesn't necessarily know who Han Solo is?
Well, it's funny because we've been talking about what people would know in the universe, and Oscar said something about, you know, knowing the history and everything, but much like the world today, nobody knows the same thing. Every single person has their own way of processing the information they hear, what they read, where they read it from, who they hear it from. And Rey has no real friends, she has no family, so when she's been at work, she probably has overheard things, but for her it's kind of like a distant thing that she hasn't really engaged in. So she's representing something that we all know in the world, people that don't really know what's going on. Not for ignorance sake, but just because they haven't been there. They're not in the right place to know that this stuff, they're over here, so they're not getting this information. So yeah, it's a nice, and also it's nice to play because Star Wars is legendary in our world and the heroes in it are legendary in the Star Wars world, but to play, it's kind of like real life. Like, I didn't know so much about the Star Wars world and Rey doesn't know so much about those legends, so it's a nice mimicking of life and art.
Is it not time for Star Wars the musical?
Right? Hello, Jakku. Yeah, always. One of the first things I asked JJ, him and Adam were having a very deep discussion about story and everything, and I went in to have a chat to them, and JJ was like, oh, is there anything you want to ask? And I was like, can there be a song? I swear to God.
Look, the Stormtroopers, company front, kick line.
Well, JJ was like, what do you mean? And I was like, because I thought it would be cool. You know when you see Rey in the Star Destroyer and she comes down?
Yeah.
I thought it would be cool if she was whistling or singing and then it was a theme, right? Great
Hello?
idea. JJ was like, no.
JC, in the first 3 movies, there were more Death Stars than there were female characters.
Nice.
Now they've got a female lead. How does that change the whole balance?
It just does. I think JJ and Kathy are just reflecting the life that we're all leading. women are half of the population, so they should represent half of a film.
At least.
I think not only will Rey appeal to female audiences, Rey will appeal to male and female audiences, but to be able to have a character who girls can see themselves in, physically see themselves in, is a wonderful thing. And then we have Captain Phasma, Maz Kanata, and then obviously Princess Leia is back. So it's a very exciting time.
Quite a spectrum. Where
Exactly.
does your character stand in terms of like what kind of person she is?
I think she's like a little ray of hope. Oy.
Yay.
She's just hopeful. She's been alone for so long, and I think with some people, being alone for that long would kind of make them bitter and bleh. But she is so open to what's going on, and she takes so much joy in meeting new people and going on this adventure. And she has no idea, she's not ready for what's to come, but she gets swept along, and she's so ready for it, and so motivated to kind of carry on the journey, even
That's
though
a bit
she's
like
frightened.
yourself.
Yeah.
What did you do to convince JJ that you are the person?
I was like, please, JJ, please. I don't know.
Did
I
he
don't
not
know
tell
what they
you
saw
what-
in me.
No?
I did some witchcraft.
Was it hard to keep it secret?
Not really. It was difficult at the beginning when I was cast because I couldn't really tell anyone. And everyone was like, what are you doing? Why are you getting so muscly? And I'm there like, no reason. But this is like, when I watched the film a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, the whole way through. And I know what happens, but I was so surprised at what goes on. And I think when people see it, everyone's going to be so appreciative that we kept it as quiet as we did. Because it's not often now you go to the cinema and are surprised by what is unrolling in front of you. So for people to experience that is so exciting.
I'm looking forward to that.
I
Thank you.
can't put into words how excited I am to be at a Star Wars junket. It's amazing. I know you can't talk about the movie, so let's have some fun.
Okay.
Is BB-8 a boy or a girl?
I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's sure. Also, I don't really think it matters, does it?
I don't think so, but it's a question I'm putting to everyone.
Okay, what have other people said?
They're not sure.
Kathy's the one you should ask. She's the one who would know. She's the woman in charge.
True.
Yeah.
What about R2? Do you think R2 has a gender?
No. I think R2 is actually less of a gender than BB-8 is.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Totally. Who shot first, Han or Greedo?
Han.
Thank you. I appreciate that answer. If you were a Jedi, what lightsaber color would you have?
I answered this once, and I felt like I didn't do myself justice. It would be like a fun pattern, like dots, like polka dots or something, like maybe pink and silver.
Okay. What is your personal rank of the 6 Star Wars movies?
Oh my gosh, I can't. It's not fair. I can't.
Do you have a preference between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back?
Empire.
Any specific reason?
I don't know. I just think Empire's super fun.
There's no wrong.
Not that Star Wars isn't, but yeah, I would say Empire.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer there.
Yeah.
They're both incredible movies.
Yeah.
What was your best and worst day on set?
Oh God, my worst day was something. I was really tired, and something fell on my head. And you know when you're like so close to crying, and it just takes that one thing, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. And we had been in like quite an enclosed space for quite a long time. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see the film. And it just fell, and it wasn't like a big thing. Like it was nobody's fault. It was an accident, and I was just, no, guys, no, I'm done. Obviously, I had to carry on. My best day, I don't think I could pick. Yeah, they were all fantastic,
I was gonna say like.
except that one.
Right.
And that was still good in its way.
Did you actually leave set, or you just broke down?
No, I was like, I mean, as we all realise anyway, I'm a bit of a crier. And I was like, the lump was so strong, like holding back the tears. And then I think because we had run over anyway, and then we had a little bit more to do, and I was just like, this is just not good. And then I was able to leave, and I went straight home.
For a very good cry.
Yeah.
Can you do impressions? And if you can you do Chewie, Jabba, and JJ?
I'm so bad at impressions. Oh my God, I sound like Santa. JJ. Here's the thing. But John is so good at impressions, and I've just totally embarrassed myself. Everyone's like, oh, she can't act.
I just witnessed some of the other cast doing impressions, and Oscar is amazing at JJ.
Is
and
he?
Gwendolyn just did the greatest Chewie I've ever seen.
Really?
She was she brought it. She also did like 10 times in a row.
You're going to go see someone else and be like, Daisy, not so much.
Not even a little. You've seen the movie. My last question for you. Did you notice any deleted scenes after seeing the movie?
What, anything that wasn't in that we filmed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot or a little?
No, but you just film so much. And with JJ, he's so open to everything. So you try it so many different ways. So there was like infinite possibilities. Like honestly, for every scene, there was maybe like 20 to 50 possibilities of what each person could do. And everyone was like trying to keep it fresh and keep it like, nothing was the same every time we did it. So not so much deleted scenes, but it's just like editing is just so important. It can make or break a film. So it like, yeah. Not that it's not that it would. I was like, oh, that's not in. That's not in. It's just like, oh, they went with that one. They went with that version of that scene.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to see it.
Thank you.
Star Wars is such a huge thing. Everyone has all these great memories of it. What's like a favorite Star Wars memory of yours?
To be honest, I don't really have one. So this is like the past 2 years have been a great Star Wars memory.
I would imagine.
But before that, I didn't really have that. But it's kind of thrilling because actually a lot of people now don't have that so much. And to be part of that and to still be as excited about it as I am, I think it's great and spells great things for a new wave of fans that are going to join.
100%. This movie is actually bringing in a lot of viewers that this is the first time they're going to see Star Wars on the big screen.
Yeah.
Now, Star Wars is also known for having like very strong female characters. What's it like to be thrown into that position and now be like a role model?
It's weird because people are already like, oh my God, you're so inspirational. And I'm like, you haven't even seen me do anything yet. I think it's not really me. JJ created this incredible character and Kathy before him, like they worked together and Larry Kasdan to make this wonderful character. And we have Phasma and Maz Kanata and Leia's back, plus other women who haven't even been announced yet who are amazing. So I'm just like a facial thing of this whole creation and so many people's work into what would make a wonderful character in the story. And for that to be a woman and for hopefully that to appeal to female and male audiences all over the world is amazing.
It almost seemed as if like your name became like a household name like the moment you got cast. Was that like a roller coaster of experiences? Like, what was that like?
It was weird because I so desperately wanted to tell everyone I knew that I got it, and then suddenly I had 5 minutes before the whole world knew, and like this guy called me, and I shouldn't have answered, but you know, you're like, oh, okay, and he was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I was like, we literally haven't spoken in 2 years. Why would I tell you? So that was kind of weird because suddenly, I don't know, like that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have time to like tell my friends and everything.
So people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, and like, go away. I just want my real friends here. But it was odd, yeah. It was really odd. If I think about that week, I'm just like, it's so funny. I saw my godfathers that week and they were like, you were like a rabbit in the headlights. But now I'm not like that anymore, and it's really cool.
Well, that's great. I got John to do. I'm gonna see if we can have some fun here.
Oh, God.
Can you tell me your favorite Star Wars character and why they're your favorite, but say it how Yoda would say it.
Yoda is my favorite character.
So how would Yoda talk about
wise
himself?
and funny he is.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks.
You got it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am stoked for this movie. I know everyone else is. Just
Brilliant.
Yay.
Thank you. What did John say?
John. Oh man, John went on and on talking to me. He's like, he
That's
said,
what he usually does.
Yeah, he's a Han Solo. He's like, Han Solo is great because the Force he finds. I'm like,
my
and he just like
God.
nailed it. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, he's really good at impressions.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Have you taken a moment to stop and process everything that's happening?
It's like every time I think I've processed it, I get another message like, oh, look what I saw. And I'm like, okay, another thing to think about. Oh my God. Is that a lollipop?
It is, and I brought one for you.
Oh my God.
What would you say is the most interesting or weirdest piece of merchandise you've seen Phasma?
I love this. I'd say that. Oh my God. How do you even do that? Total fat, 0 grams.
Hey.
And they're good for you.
Can you remember how you felt or your reaction when you found out you'd gotten this part?
My reaction probably lasted about 2 years. No kidding. It's kind of still going on. The initial one was like, and then there was insecurity and fear and terror and elation. It was a real amalgamation of things.
How did you kind of keep that all in check when you actually got onto the set, into this gigantic production, coming from where you had been before to stepping into this?
I kind of didn't. I was like a bit of a at the beginning, as people have noted. Thank you, Carrie and Peter. But being surrounded by people who make you feel like you are worthy and like you should be there and like you have a story to tell and like you have a voice, that is like the most amazing thing, because yeah, that kind of drops away when you're surrounded by people, when you're all working together to make this incredible thing. And it didn't feel like a big thing. It felt like there was a small group of us making this incredible thing. So it didn't feel like daunting in that way. And everyone definitely made me feel relaxed and loved and supported.
Did Carrie or Harrison offer, or Peter offer sort of any advice? Did you seek out any advice from them?
Carrie, well, some of what she told me is not appropriate for today. Not really. I kind of I didn't really want to ask because I didn't really want to be a nuisance, and now I'm like, oh, I should have asked, because now we're kind of too close to it and I don't really have an opportunity to ask. But the way they were kind of set an amazing example to me. They're also, I mean, they've been working for years and years and years, and they were all so excited to be back, and they're so respectful to everyone they're working with, and they're still so passionate about what they do. That in itself, I think, is kind of advice of how to be.
Do you see Rey and Finn and Poe sort of following in the tradition of, Luke and Han and Leia, or even in the prequels, the sort of that trilogy, the trio that forms the spine of the story in a way?
Ish, but not really. I feel like obviously in some ways there's three of them, but it's so far beyond that. Like, it's not just the three of them. There's an incredible new array of cast, and we also have those three still.
Right.
So kind of and kind of not. I think the story that's told in The Force Awakens hasn't been told before, and there may be similarities here and there, but it's a new set of people in a new time and a new place. And that in that way it's exciting, because hopefully people will see the history and see what's come before and then enjoy the new story.
Someone asked me to ask you, they have a 10-year-old daughter who
Right.
they feel that their daughter's going to be so inspired to see your character leading this new generation for Star Wars. So how does it feel to you to have that responsibility almost of being kind of a new role model for a lot of young girls?
I think it's probably quite lucky that I'm quite a together person. And I think my values are, I value the right things. Like, I value education and like health in all aspects, like mental health and keeping yourself happy and loving the right kind of people. So yeah, and I think Rey is incredibly brave and hopeful, and her story will be inspirational. And so for that, I'm thankful that I was able to play that.
Terrific.
Epic shot in this clip where you and John Boyega are running, and he's like, we can't outrun them, and then this massive explosion goes off, and you guys get stopped.
Yeah.
How did that look on set? Was that a real explosion in front of your face?
Yeah. I mean, our incredible stunt doubles were there when the actual explosion went on, but when we were running at it, there was a huge fire. So, because our DP is incredible, so the lighting was right and everything. Dan Mindel.
Yeah.
And, it was hot, and obviously it was as if this thing was fully on fire, so it kind of was terrifying.
So I'm a big fan of the original trilogy, obviously, episode 4, 5, and 6 of Love of the New Hope, Empire, and Jedi. If you could see Rey dropped into one classic scene in the original trilogy, where do you think she'd have the most fun? I know time-wise it would never happen, but where would she have fun the most?
That's a good question. Probably the cantina. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Well, as me playing Rey, because she's used to kind of being around all sorts of things, all sorts of creatures and stuff, but never on a kind of even keel. So to be in a bar be surrounded by people who are kind of her peers, I think that would be cool.
What would she do in the scene? Like, who do you think she would talk to? Like, what would she be doing
I think
there?
she would talk to anyone. She's super open to like saying hi to, like letting people in.
Yeah.
So I think she would just sit at the bar and see who came along.
Now, as we see scenes with you and BB-8, I have the little BB-8 at home. I've been
Yeah.
playing with him for months now. And I know he's being fully operated. Is he fully always moving with you? How does he look when you're with him?
He's like the whole time he's moving. The puppeteers, Dave and Brian, are insane. And so he's literally like, he's always kind of shifting. It's like he's breathing the whole time, his head's going. So Brian does the body and then Dave like kind of remote controls the head and they make the noises as well. So it's like he's inhaling and moving the whole time. It's really amazing.
Now, I love the story about when you first found out the news that you got the role. You were at a play, I think it was
Yeah.
Oedipus Rex,
Yeah.
and you were with the guy and you couldn't tell him.
Yeah.
What transpired after that? Because obviously, like, did you eventually tell this person? Like,
Weirdly, I saw him somewhere a few months ago and I felt really embarrassed. So I was like, so I pretended not to see him.
Are you
Isn't
kidding?
that awful? Yeah. I was really tired. And I don't know if he ever picked up that it was that. But also I had a friend in the cast. And so he commented on like my Instagram or something saying, oh my God, this is cool. But I don't know if they've put two and two together.
Yeah.
But I was just like, for the second half.
Oh my gosh.
And then I haven't really spoken to them.
And in the Comic-Con footage, we see you get into the pilot seat.
Yeah.
I believe it's the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
That shot looks amazing. Are you flying it? Can I ask you that?
I am flying it.
You are flying it?
I am!
Okay.
Casey, how are you?
Great.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Pretty crazy, yeah.
I really do admire you so much in the fact that this is, and everyone says, oh, this is like the first big movie she's done. It's not only the first big movie, it's Star Wars, have you, and maybe you have, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming it's the first time you were, like, in regards to being on a big studio movie like this, and it just must have been crazy in general. And then, oh yeah, by the way, here's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, the longest I'd ever worked on anything before was like 2 weeks. So by the time I'd auditioned, the auditioning took 7 months, and then the training took 3 months, and the filming took 6. So it was like a crazy old time. For me, I wasn't so in tune with Star Wars. Like, I'd watch them, and I had a kind of interest in them, but that was as far as it went. And I think that was great for me, because I didn't really know how far a reach it had. So when I was auditioning, I was just trying to do a good job in that thing without thinking about the greater scope of it. Right. And then even during filming, again, I tried to stay away from all of that. So I was just trying to do the right thing, do a good job, even with Harrison Ford. And then it's only since we finished that I've kind of really realized the impact it's had on people's lives.
At what point do you go, oh, wait a minute, this is bigger than I thought it was?
Probably at Celebration this year.
Okay.
That was crazy. The sound, even before we went on stage, and then talking and people really caring about what you have to say. That doesn't often happen. That was insane. Just this outpouring of love for this one thing. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's coming out. It hasn't even come out yet,
Yeah.
and everyone knows who Rey is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Kylo Ren is. So
Yeah.
congratulations. Before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that Fandango has made these specialized, if I can find it, there it is, Force Awakens gift cards.
Oh!
His wife Daisy Ridley is the best.
This is so cool.
Look at that. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Thank you so much. Congratulations once again. I cannot wait to see the movie.
This is so cool.
See? Fandango's making dreams come true.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy playing such a strong, heroic female character, and if so, why?
I did. But I also enjoyed that she's not just those things. Rey is kind of a simple young woman, and she just gets swept onto this incredible journey. So to play a role that's so nuanced and an incredibly emotional role was thrilling, because it wasn't what I expected. I don't think it is going to be what people expect, and that is incredibly exciting.
Yes. What do you want girls to take away from the movie?
I would love, firstly, girls to enjoy it as a whole, and secondly, from Rey, I hope they feel uplifted and hopeful, and perhaps see themselves in her somewhere, and feel joyful.
What does it feel to be a star in a movie franchise that has such a following? Do you feel a responsibility to the fans?
I think JJ and Kathy probably feel more of a responsibility than I do, because I'm just saying the words, trying to do a good job. But of course, we all hope that everyone's going to enjoy it. But there are a lot of people to please. There are the old fans who have certain expectations, and there are new fans who hopefully will come on board who perhaps haven't been so immersed in Star Wars before. And I think with JJ at the helm and Larry writing the story they have, combining the old and the new so brilliantly, I think it will appeal to many, many people.
Yes. First there was Princess Leia, and now there's Rey. How are they similar and how are they different?
The main difference is that Leia comes from privilege and Rey doesn't. Leia is obviously born into something. There's a certain level of hierarchy and everything, and Rey is definitely at the bottom of the pile. She really is just working to live every day. She's not in charge of anything. She doesn't really have anyone to have relationships with, be them brothers or husbands or a squadron, I guess, underneath her. Similarities are that they're both women trying to make their way in the world, and they're both pretty kick-ass.
Yes. Talk about the importance of music in this film.
Well, we went to go and see the scoring with John Williams a few months ago, which was unbelievable. Because you watch what's going on and the scenes are already incredible, and then adding the music to it, it's like another thing. It's like seeing a whole other thing. And I had to leave at one point because I was pretty emotional. So to see that all come together, I can't wait. It's absolutely stunning.
It's going to be amazing. You jumped right into the movie by filming in the deserts of Abu Dhabi. What did you learn about yourself from that experience?
Abu Dhabi for me was a real baptism of fire. I was incredibly nervous, like I really was. And looking back, it's amazing because Rey's journey begins in Jakku, and that's where we began filming. I learnt that even though I am terrified a lot of the time, and even though I don't know what I'm doing, with the right support and the right people around you, you can break through boundaries. You might put on yourself restrictions you might think that you have, and do some really cool stuff.
Great. What was it like for you as a young actress to play opposite Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill?
Harrison, Carrie, and Mark are all brilliant people, and they're all incredibly different because they're different people, united by this incredible thing. And they were all so excited to come back, and that is incredibly joyful for us. Because coming into this, you think who knows better than they do about what story should be told and how excited we should all feel. So they really set a precedent. They're all incredibly kind and warm and funny and wonderful to work with. And it never really felt like we were the newbies. It just felt like a group trying to do the best film, trying to make the best film possible.
Right. If you had to describe your experience making this film in one word, what would it be and why?
In one word, a roller coaster. Because my Star Wars journey has now spanned over 2 years. I started auditioning over 2 years ago. And so obviously within 2 years, not only with this film, but many, many things have happened. So I've hit every emotion possible. So that is why I would say roller coaster.
Last question. You've never worked on such a large-scale film before. Tell us what you thought of the sets and the creatures, and did it inform your acting in any way?
I think, for me, it didn't feel like working on a huge film. The way people talk about huge films, it didn't feel like that. It felt intimate and kind of small. And then you realise, obviously, the span of how many people it takes to make such a film. But the creatures are insane, and of course they inform because they set the tone. In the desert, in particular, where we started, the creatures were there already setting this tone of Star Wars. There's humanoids and creatures all working, aliens all kind of working side by side. I can't remember what the other part of the question was.
Did it inform your acting in any way?
Yeah. It really helped. JJ and Kathy wanted to really base everything in practical effects, and having creatures really there was nothing to imagine. They were just right there in front of you. So it was incredibly helpful. Yeah.
What is your favorite piece of Rey Star Wars merch you've seen?
The skateboard. Though I still don't have wheels for it, so it's just sat in my cupboard. But it's really cool. It's like a silhouette of her and BB-8.
Who is your favorite Star Wars villain who's not Darth Vader?
Ooh, Star Wars villain. Oh, they're all so gross. Probably Darth Maul, but he's so terrifying.
He's got that double lightsaber, though.
He is pretty cool. I mean, he is pretty cool, but terrifying. Ooh, yeah, let's say him.
You're gonna be internationally known.
You, firstly, I hope you're not offended by this, but you sound kind of like a gangster, and it's so cool. Like, have you ever seen Arturo Ui?
Now, see here, lady, see?
See, they're not from Denver, did you say?
Denver, yes.
Your voice is really great.
Really?
It's very atmospheric.
Sort of a gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look here,
Yeah,
lady.
like an old school, and you kind of look real dapper.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
On the note of, so you would attract attention right now if we walked down the street, so everyone's like, hey, who's that guy walking down the street?
Right. Who's that 1930s gangster
Exactly.
gay guy? Is who they would think.
Are you gay?
I am.
A gay gangster? Oh my God, even better.
Hello, we're a very small demographic.
Nice.
The gay gangsters, but we're there.
I'm sure it's larger than was ever shown. Just that
Exactly.
demographic that was never, we never got the
Exactly.
gay gangster story.
We never did.
No.
It's high time. We're having a whole pre-party, a gay gangster watch party.
Are you offended that I said you sound like a gangster?
No, I love it. Are you
Okay,
kidding me?
great.
See here,
Has
lady.
has anyone ever said that to you before?
I've never gotten gangster.
Maybe gangster's wrong. It's just the gravelly, like, it's really amazing.
I was thinking about Star Wars as a concept. What I came up with is that Star Wars is a land that's filled with incredible things that blow my mind, also similar to Florida. And so, I actually have a game I wonder if you would be interested in playing called Star Wars or Florida.
Oh my gosh, I don't really know Florida.
Oh, you will by the end
Okay.
of this game.
All right, my home state. Let's do it.
All right, I will give you a headline.
Yep.
And you will tell me if this happened in a Star Wars movie or in Florida.
Okay.
Florida.
So we're just going to offend everyone from Florida.
We are. And I take the blame for this. Do not blame Daisy Ridley for this. This is me. Older man on respirator injures son during fight over family business.
Oh, well, that is Star Wars.
No, that's Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
Correct.
The old man on the respirator.
Retiree cuts off foe's arm during bar fight.
That's Star Wars.
I would say Florida.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Okay, that's Star Wars.
Florida.
Star Wars.
It is.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Darth Vader robs Imperial outpost.
It sounds like it should be obviously Star Wars, and for that reason, I think, is it a Florida newspaper headline?
Florida.
That is Florida. Oh my God, that's Florida, isn't it?
Star Wars.
Florida.
Florida.
It is! That happened in Jacksonville.
Well, where else?
Dude just walked into a convenience store?
Nothing you're saying makes no sense. I should have known that because Darth Vader, he doesn't rob things, right?
Right? Pantsless female ends up in dumpster.
Florida.
Oh, God. This just got so grim. I don't want to know if it's Florida. That has happened in Florida. I was part of that.
Florida?
Okay, so it happened in Florida.
Ends up in dumpster. Star Wars.
Star Wars or Florida?
Was Leia wearing a dress when they ended up there? Yeah, Star Wars.
Also acceptable answer?
Florida. Yeah. Oh my gosh, brilliant!
It's also Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, because Princess Leia was wearing a skirt.
Careful, careful. It's royalty we're talking about.
Please excuse me.
That's okay.
You just won this game.
Oh, wow.
You just won this game!
What do I get?
I have no prizes except I will shake my Ewok.
Florida.
Yes!